Right now, protests growing nationwide in response to immigration crackdowns. The voices of the movement in Milwaukee.
Plus, find out why hundreds of Madison High School seniors are returning to their elementary school for a special celebration. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on your Wednesday. I'm Kyrie Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for tuning in halfway through the week. So we've finally got some warmer temperatures. We're going to get up into the 80s today. You looking forward to that?
Yes, going to get out and about, try to enjoy it as much as we can because we have some other things on the horizon here.
Yeah, we do. Some thunderstorms. Let's check with the timing. Savannah Brito out on the patio. Let's get started with how things are out there this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a little breezy. We do have some haze, but it's not as prominent as yesterday, and I don't think it'll play as vital of a role in our temperatures. They only reached the lower to mid 70s yesterday because of it. We'll still have some present, just not as much. Winds right now sustained up to about 10 miles per hour across a lot of the area, but gusts are stronger than that. It's pretty mild, though. We have temperatures that are nearly at 70 in Madison. We were there in La Crosse. Their temperature back down to 68 as well. Most of us are in the mid to upper 60s. It's a little bit cooler up towards Watoma and then Black River Falls. Everyone will see at least the mid 80s today. I think we could even see a couple areas top out close to 90. Still going to have breezy conditions that linger all day long. We'll talk about the storm threat, though, that's going to come later tonight into early Thursday and what threats we could see across southern Wisconsin with that.
Then, thank you. Protests growing across the country this morning in response to President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown.
The unrest is intensifying in Los Angeles, where the mayor has imposed an overnight curfew to reduce disruption. The Trump administration has deployed thousands of National Guard troops to manage the protest in L.A. The National Guard's role is limited to protecting federal buildings and federal officers. California Governor Gavin Newsom calls this deployment an illegal use of power. He warns that President Trump's decision should serve as a caution to other states. And last night, more than 1,000 protesters gathered in Milwaukee's Cathedral Square Park. Then they marched through the streets, joining the multitudes of national protests against ICE. Adam Reif has more.
Donald Trump, let's be clear, immigrants are welcome here.
More than 1,000 people from all walks of life raised their voices as one Tuesday evening. They protested ICE detention and deportation policies that have ramped up under the Trump administration.
No man, no wall, 6 words for all.
In recent months, the mere sight of ICE agents in the Milwaukee area is enough to spread like wildfire on social media.
The only people invading our communities are the ICE agents, the other federal cops, the National Guard, and the Marines.
They also protested for the right to protest, saying crackdowns in Los Angeles are a threat to constitutional rights.
The people of America have a right to protest that is constitutionally protected. And today we affirm that right.
Many immigrants attended, but some told us others are afraid to gather or make their voices heard.
It's so wonderful to see everyone and anyone in the community to come out in solidarity with the immigrant community.
For more than an hour, they marched through downtown Milwaukee, ginning up support from other drivers, but also showing their strength.
This is what Milwaukee looks like.
When the march turned up Water Street, the true size of the movement was seen at Milwaukee City Hall.
We want to make sure that the people in Milwaukee are treated with dignity and respect. That's been my message the entire time.
Some veteran protesters expressed skepticism this demonstration will affect change.
I think you have to try anyway, and in fact, I think people that feel much the way I do are the vast majority.
But others were more optimistic.
Well, it's possible. We just have to stand strong. We have to stand together and not be intimidated.
And the Wisconsin State Journal reports that a protest against Trump is planned for Saturday in Madison, as are many nationwide in an event dubbed No King's Day.
A Janesville man guilty of sexually assaulting a child. It comes nearly 20 years after the crimes happened. Prosecutors charged Kyle Dean with 3 counts of child sexual assault after his arrest in 2023.
Janesville police say the charges stemmed from an assault that took place in 2007. A judge found Dean guilty of 1 count and not guilty of the other 2 after testimony yesterday. He is set to be sentenced August 28th. And the man charged with intentionally setting an apartment on fire will face a competency hearing. A court ordered the evaluation for Vince Hildestad. He is charged with arson for allegedly setting apartments on fire on Blossom Lane. The fire displaced 5 people and caused an estimated $100 in damage.
A new bill is looking to make your experience at the ballot box easier. The bill would require plain language to be used when explaining a proposed state amendment or referendum and what would happen if it were to pass. The League of Women Voters says these are areas a lot of voters struggle with.
If you ask the average voter what is some sufficient, I don't know if they know. Is that then? And if they're voting for something that would be some sufficient, that means you are not voting for a set number. You're voting for enough money to be delivered to a problem or a situation to cover it.
If passed, the bill would also require the date of the referendum on the ballot.
In less than a week, District 1 voters will head to the polls to elect a Dane County Board Supervisor. This election will use electronic poll books instead of the traditional paper sign-in books. Madison officials say this smaller-scale election offers a chance to observe the new technology in action. Nearly 400 other communities in the state already use electronic poll books. They are designed to speed up data processing and reduce human error. A demonstration will be held Saturday at 3:30 p.m. at the Fannie Lou Hamer Annex.
Elon Musk says he went too far in his social media post about President Trump this week. It comes after his net worth took a big hit from their recent fallout. Bloomberg's billionaire index has Musk worth about $500 billion after the president was elected. Now, as of Sunday, it has plunged to $342 billion. He is still the world's wealthiest person. Mark Zuckerberg, second with $246 billion in net worth, followed closely by Jeff Bezos with $234 billion.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is personally assembling a team to develop a superintelligence and artificial intelligence that surpasses human capabilities. Bloomberg reports that Zuckerberg is frustrated with Meta's progress in the AI field. He plans to hire about 50 people and has reconfigured the company's Menlo Park headquarters to locate the new AI team close to his office.
Artificial intelligence is putting a strain on data centers and communication systems. Experts say some of the constraints include bandwidth demands, energy consumption, and safety and security. New networks are rolling out to handle AI's needs because outdated networks can pose safety and security risks like data breaches and outages. Cisco research says 97% of IT leaders surveyed see modernizing networks as crucial to deploying AI.
It can be hard for kids and teens to get away from technology, and it can come with a toll. A 2022 Pew Research survey says up to 95% of youth ages 13 to 17 report using a social media platform. Doctors say all that screen time can lead to anxiety or depression. Medical experts recommend parents set up a digital plan that should include screen limits and activities to replace time usually spent on a device.
I think the biggest thing is really the basis is communication and trying to find out what the kids are seeing, the content of what they're looking at, as well as the amount of screen time that they are using.
And we at News 3 Now do have some tools for you over on our Time for Kids page. But this doctor here says kids might respond better to actual data, so she suggests talking to them about the research into excessive digital media use and the impact experts believe it has on mental health.
A quick traffic update for folks in Middleton. The intersection of Park Street and Franklin Avenue will be closed today for construction. The closure starts in about an hour and will last until noon.
Today, hundreds of outgoing West High seniors return to elementary school. The annual senior walk at Randall Elementary brings them back to the halls they once walked to celebrate their futures. This afternoon, these soon-to-be graduates will walk through the school wearing their caps and gowns. Current students and teachers at Randall Elementary will applaud and cheer as they pass by. West High seniors will graduate on Saturday.
Well, is it time for the Butterburger to take a back seat?
I'm not so sure of it, but Culver's is launching a brand new line of chicken sandwiches. The southern Wisconsin-based fast food restaurant is introducing 3 new chicken sandwiches: crispy, spicy crispy, and grilled. The recipes took years to develop and included extensive taste testing. The launch comes amid supply chain challenges and concerns about bird flu impacting chicken supplies in the food industry. But Culver's head of culinary, Casey McDonald, says they're ready for any disruptions.
We have strategic suppliers, so we make sure that they have safeties in place to make sure that they're not going to be affected. We really pick our partners well and make sure that they're the right fit for us and that they're going to protect us and make sure that we're not going to be hit with something like that.
The new chicken sandwich lineup officially launches on Monday, and the first 100 lucky customers at every store nationwide will get a free chicken sandwich of their choice.
There you go. What do you think makes a great chicken sandwich?
I think it definitely needs, the crust needs to be crispy. Like, it can't be too
Nice and
soggy or
crispy.
anything like that. And then, like, it has to have flavor. You know, some places like flavor. So.
You like a little kick with your chicken sandwich?
Maybe just a little bit. Not too much. Not too much, because I don't want to not enjoy the sandwich, but just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just
All
a
right,
little bit.
well, we'll see what Culver's has.
Yes, we'll see what they got. Well, let's check on Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, a beautiful day, and then we do have a storm threat to talk about. Those details are coming up.
And we're live in Baraboo this morning ahead of the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration back this weekend. We're going to talk about some of the fun that you can be part of live in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Time to see what's going on in the 608 this morning. The Big Top Parade is returning to the streets of downtown Baraboo this weekend.
That's where we find our Josh Spider live this morning with a preview. Hey, Josh.
Hey guys, good morning to you. We're live in front of the historic Al Ringling Theater here in Baraboo ahead of a great weekend. We're talking about the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration returning here starting tomorrow with some of those events. And joining us this morning is Ben Bromley of the Chamber. Ben, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy to have you here.
Yes, looking all patriotic for good reason, because this is this year's theme.
Absolutely. With the parade being held on Flag Day, we thought what better theme than making it a star-spangled celebration, hence the getup.
Of course, this is the weekend to be in Baraboo. You guys get so excited for this every year. What is the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration all about?
This is a throwback to the old-time circus parades of yore, right? When the circus would roll into town, they do a parade to make sure everybody knew about it. It was like the original marketing ploy, right? And so we observe the Ringling legacy here in Baraboo, the Ringling Brothers' hometown, by having a parade every summer.
Let's show folks some video at home, because this really gets the community involved. This gets the community excited. And it's great to see that energy, especially here in Sauk County.
Absolutely. We get crowds of thousands of people right here on these very streets. We're going to have the Circus World wagons, which of course is an unparalleled collection. We got 6 marching bands. We got clowns galore.
You know, this has been obviously an event that has been growing over the years. You know, why is it important for you guys to celebrate these traditions year after year?
Yeah, that's tradition is the word, right? We're proud to be the Ringling Brothers' hometown, and this is a great way to celebrate that. We have these great assets at Circus World, you know, the only place in the whole world you can see a collection of wagons like these, plus the Circus World cast, you know. They appear in our parade, and of course they also put on 2 shows in the afternoon after the parade on Saturday.
And not only are you getting the locals out, you're getting people that are traveling from all over just for this.
We do. There are some hardcore circus folks out there, some of the performing clowns and some of the other acts. Some of them will make it a road trip, make it their summer vacation.
So as I mentioned, some of those events start tomorrow. This is kind of a weekend event, so what can people expect over the next few days?
Absolutely. So we do concerts on the square here every Thursday evening, and appropriately enough. The original circus band is going to be the act Thursday night, 7 p.m. And then right here at the Al Ringling, Friday night, the Charlie Chaplin movie, The Circus, is going to be performed, and they're going to have the mighty Barton organ providing accompaniment. Then we got the parade Saturday at 11 a.m. And then we talked about the back-to-back circus Big Top performances at Circus World Saturday afternoon. And wait, one more thing. The movie Big Fish is going to be presented here Saturday night. Now, our Grand Marshal, Scott O'Donnell, the former executive at Circus World, his circus is in that movie. So they're going to show the movie, and he's going to do a little Q&A after.
Oh, that's so cool, all these connections. Well, Ben, thank you so much for having us up to Baraboo. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And if you'd like to learn more about the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration, just go to the story up on channel3000.com, guys.
Sounds like a fun time.
Good stuff. Josh, thank you. Josh is always looking for inspirational stories to share with you folks at home. Got an idea for him? Reach out and let him know about it.
Well, temperatures out there are near 70 degrees. It's a mild start to the day, but we do have winds that are going to continue to increase through the rest of the day. So breezy conditions will affect this afternoon, and then overall Thursday and Friday afternoon, next couple of days as well. Temperatures will reach the mid 80s, even a couple places that probably reach just about 90, so the upper 80s. We'll have partly sunny skies. I don't think we'll be dealing with as much haze compared to what we did yesterday because of the Canadian wildfire smoke across southern Wisconsin. Yes, we're still going to have an air quality that falls in the moderate category, those numbers between 51 and 100, but it's not going to play as vital of a role compared to yesterday and the overall effect it had on our temperatures. We only reached the lower to mid 70s. I still think we'll see the 80s this afternoon. Most of the day looks good. Once we get to later this evening into tonight, that's when the storm threat's going to return. That's basically Madison and all these areas south where we could see some strong winds, and also also some hail. If we're able to see those stay strong out of Iowa and Minnesota into southern Wisconsin, that would come west of Madison at about 10 to 11 p.m. It'll be pretty widespread for areas like Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, up near La Crosse, Black River Falls, and Watoma, and also some pretty heavy rain during this point in time too. As those storms move east, might break up a little bit. If they hold their strength, we could still see stronger storms until about 3 to 4 in the morning. After that, I think that diminishes. Anything that follows in this line then afterwards would just be some heavy rain, but no longer strong to severe at that point in time. That'll take us to mid to late morning, and then after that, a couple of spotty showers because we have a stationary front. That eventually is going to stall and keep our rain chances around for Friday and then Saturday as well. How much rain are we going to see later tonight into early Thursday? Most of the areas that do fall in that band, Watertown, Madison, Lone Rock, Boscobel, and especially near Prairie du Chien, where they see that evening round and then more into tomorrow morning, that's where the heavier rain is going to fall. They could see upwards of about 1.5 inches to maybe even 2 to 3 inches. We'll likely see at least half an inch, maybe surrounding areas that get about 1 inch of rainfall. Heading into Father's Day weekend, then we're still going to see a couple of showers on Saturday. That's mainly going to be the morning, and then only see highs in the lower 70s, but then we're back up to the mid to upper 70s on Sunday for Father's Day. 80s are going to stick around for a little bit of time, then into next week. That's when we'll see those return.
All right, Savannah, thank you. And still ahead, we are speaking to the founder of the Madison Gospel 5K Foundation about their upcoming event.
We're back after this.
Welcome back. The 7th annual Madison Gospel 5K, 10K Run Walk and Health Fair is just about a month away. It's blending faith, fellowship, and fitness for families across the city. And joining us now is the founder of the Madison Gospel 5K Foundation and race director, Uchenna Jones. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for those who aren't familiar, what inspired the creation of the Madison Gospel 5K Foundation?
Well, my career, I'm a nurse, and in the process, like working through COVID and all these different things that were happening in the community, I just thought and felt the need that how about if we can combine family, faith, fellowship, all these things together? How would that work? Over 20 years ago, I had broke my leg, and the doctors told me I may never, ever walk. So in that process of healing and getting myself back, I became a runner, and then that runner piqued my interest. Like, how can I start a race where I can, more diversity, bring families out, and, to own movement in their own way?
Very good. So what can participants expect this year?
This year is our 7th year, so
nice.
It's amazing, and we're going to be on the south side of Penn Park, so we're really excited, and more opportunities to get together. We have a health fair, so that's really awesome. Opportunities to see different vendors. So we have Access Health who support us. We have SSM Health who support us. Unity Point Health, MG&E. So all these wonderful organizations that pour into us so we can pour into the community. So just opportunities for families to get out together, fellowship, have a great time.
We love to see it. So how can someone volunteer for the event or support the organization year-round?
Yeah, well, first of all, look on our website, MadisonGospel5KFoundation.com. There's a little link that says register here, and there's a little tab once you get in for volunteers. We need volunteers.
So I'm sure like an event of this size definitely takes lots of, it takes a village.
Yes, we have a few hundred people that come out every year, so we need all the support we can get.
And so what message do you hope each participant walks away with after being a part of this event?
The importance of family, faith, fellowship, and fitness. So, as you guys can see, I'm a plus-size woman, but this plus-size woman is an ultra-marathoner. Hey. So you can move at any size. So it's important to get out there. It's important to claim your health, because health is wealth.
Yes, it is. And one more time for people who are looking to register, what's the cost? And again, that link so people can register for the event.
So currently the cost is about $40-45 right now, but if you use the code MG5K, 5 off, all caps, you get $5 off. If you have 3 or more, you get an additional 5, so $10 savings. So it depends on who is registering. So yes, log in at MadisonGospel5KFoundation.com, register right on the link, and it will connect you to the race website.
And it's July 12th?
July 12th, Saturday, July 12th from 8 to 12 at Penn Park.
At Penn Park, all the things. Well, Uchenna, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Of course, we love to have it. All right, and we will share all of these details over on our website, channel3000.com.
Oh my God.
This morning, anti-ICE protests continue to spread nationwide. How Wisconsin leaders are reacting.
Plus, Madison and Dane County becoming a tourist destination. How this impacts our local workforce.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning on a Wednesday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Unley. Thanks for waking up with us this morning, halfway through the week, and the temperatures are looking just right.
Feeling pretty nice out there. Let's check in with Savannah and see how things are going. She's live outside of our studio here in Madison to get you ready to step out the door. Good morning.
Good morning. A tad bit breezy, but it's definitely warm, very mild to start our day off already, and temperatures will luckily rise past what we had even yesterday and especially on Monday. Winds right now, though, those gusts are up to about 15 to 25 miles per hour, about 21 up in Camp Douglas, 20 in Viroqua, and then 16 in Mineral Point. We don't currently have one in Madison. That will fluctuate through the day, and actually by the afternoon, they start to come down a bit, but overnight with the storm threat, those are going to increase again. Temperatures mid to upper 60s across most of southern Wisconsin. We're at 68 right now in Madison, but we will see the lower 80s, mid 80s for most of us. I do think a couple spots west and also south of Madison could even reach the upper 80s. We'll talk more about that, the haze, and also storm threat for tonight coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Savannah. Thousands are taking to the streets across the country to protest immigration and customs enforcement, with the epicenter in Los Angeles.
City officials say that most demonstrators in LA are obeying the law. However, they say more than 20 businesses in LA have been looted, prompting a curfew in a small part of the city last night. Despite the governor's objections, National Guard members have deployed to LA. Hundreds of Marines mobilized by President Trump have received briefings on the rules for using force on American soil. Governor Tony Evers says he's concerned about the immigrants in Wisconsin.
We have tens of thousands of people working in the state of Wisconsin in our farm, with our cows, doing everything possible in a manufacturing area, in a tourism area. And if suddenly those people disappeared, the 25.8% in transportation that we're seeing, billions of dollars, all that will disappear. And I don't know who the hell's going to milk the cows.
Meanwhile, when asked about the protest, Senator Ron Johnson drew parallels to the protest in Kenosha.
We have the experience in Wisconsin where Governor Evers refused to call it the National Guard, and he let Kenosha burn, and then President Trump sent in the National Guard, and Kenosha stopped burning. So the reason you send in massive manpower is to prevent violence.
Evers says he did not have that experience like Governor Gavin Newsom. Evers says that he did make the decision to deploy the National Guard.
New this morning, the 2-year-old who had seriously been injured in a car crash has died. The family confirming that death in an online fundraiser. The 2-year-old suffered life-threatening injuries in a car crash on Sunday right here in Rock County. The family's GoFundMe says that the child passed away early yesterday morning. The fundraiser is up right now for those who would like to support the child's parents.
An undocumented migrant framed for the threatening of trying to assassinate President Trump can be released from prison on bond. His bond is set at $7,500. The Department of Homeland Security has until July 10th to appeal the decision. Ramon Morales Reyes has been held in the Dodge County Jail, even though it was proven he did not write the threatening letter. Demetric Scott admitted to writing the letter to prevent Morales Reyes from testifying against him. Scott had reportedly robbed and assaulted Morales Reyes.
President Trump said that the U.S. will restore the names of 7 Army bases that previously honored Confederate leaders. He made that announcement while visiting Fort Bragg yesterday. In a statement, the Army said that it would take immediate action to restore the old names of the bases, but did note that the bases' names will now technically honor American soldiers who had names and initials similar to the Confederate leaders.
The countdown is on for Saturday's military parade in Washington, D.C. President Trump has warned protesters to stay away from the event marking the Army's 250th birthday, stating that protesters will be met with very heavy force. The parade will feature nearly 7,000 soldiers in uniform, along with tanks and military planes. It will also coincide with President Trump's 79th birthday.
The clock ticking once again for TikTok to remain online in the U.S. The popular social network app has 9 days to find a buyer. President Trump already extended the dedeadline for this twice and reportedly is considering a third deadline extension. Critics, though, warn that user data is at risk here as long as ByteDance retains ownership of TikTok. But ByteDance insists that it does not share data with the Chinese government.
The World Bank is issuing a negative outlook on global economic growth. A recent report by the institution forecasts that international gross domestic product will slow to 2.3%. This is a decline from the 2.7% projected in January. While the World Bank does not predict a global recession, it warns that global growth this decade could fall to levels not seen since the 1960s.
At the state capitol, the legislature's budget writing committee is working on the state budget right now. One agency budget approved yesterday was the Wisconsin Supreme Court system. This led to a rare sight, a sitting justice in the courtroom. That's because the legislature is debating the creation of a state marshal program. This would create a law enforcement agency to help protect Supreme Court justices.
I don't think we believe we want to create a new police force just for the Supreme Court.
I think if I could add to that, the Capitol Police protects the Capitol for visitors, employees, legislators, the court, whoever happens to be here. I think they do a good job.
The Joint Finance Committee will return to the state capitol tomorrow to approve education funding and state income taxes.
Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul is joining a multi-state lawsuit to block 23andMe from selling genetic information during its bankruptcy proceedings. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in March. Kaul says the assets up for sale include the genetic data of about 15 million customers. The attorneys general argued that 23andMe must obtain individual consent before selling this personal information. In April, a federal court ruled that bidders must guarantee compliance with 23andMe's privacy policies. Now, the company is requiring bidders to submit a detailed description of how they plan to use the data.
In other local news, today's your last chance for lower adoption fees for local shelter dogs. The Wisconsin Humane Society is lowering dog adoption fees as shelters face a crisis. Through today, adopting dogs over 6 months costs $75. Benchwarmer dogs that have been at the shelter for a while, are $25. The goal is to find adopters or fosters to ease urgent overcrowding. You can visit wihumane.org/adopt for more information.
Last year, tourists spent a record $1.5 billion in Madison and Dane County. Our Armand Rahman spoke with members of the hospitality industry about what this surge means for local businesses and the workforce.
Roughly 9.2 million people visited Madison last year to walk places like the Old Brick Gardens, breaking a new record for tourism spending.
We had so many people visiting from all over the country.
The Edgewater Hotel is just one of the businesses that felt the extra $13 million visitors spent in lodging. COO Amy Supple says more people were staying longer and doing more.
We're really seeing the leisure tourism, especially in Madison, grow. Madison's become a real destination for people to come in for the weekend. There's a lot of leisure travel, meaning people are coming in for business and then staying an extra couple of days.
Now looking forward, Supple says she wants to expand some of the Edgewater's activities out on the lake, like frozen assets.
We saw about 6,000 people this year come through, which was, pre-pandemic levels.
Retail saw a $10 million jump in sales last year. Ken Monteleone, the owner of Fromage Nation Cheese Shop on the Square, says they saw about a 5% spike in cheddar.
Small business, I think, are the livelihood of our city. A lot of people that live in Madison go to great lengths to support small business. And I think when tourists visit Madison, they're looking to seek out those experiences.
All in all, those 9 million people spent about $1.5 billion in Madison and Dane County. Destination Madison President and CEO Ellie Chin says that's mostly due to big conventions and events.
We have Ironman every year, which is great.
Sports.
Badgers were strong. They hosted Alabama.
And the show Top Chef featuring the farmers market. Chin says that was a big driver in food and beverage sales, which grew by $15 million.
I just don't know if people understood what we offered here and all the different cuisines and the creativity of our restaurant owners and our chefs, but they do now.
Chin says the more people that come to the Capitol for events, the more neighboring cities will benefit too.
Madison's definitely a gateway for the county.
Reporting in Madison, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
All right, big news for Madison and Dane County.
Record-breaking numbers, no surprise. We're biased. We love this place. We know how great it is, and the word's getting out about just how wonderful it is. As a local, it's like, you kind of want to keep this to yourself, but also, that is huge news for the tourism industry and a big boon to the local economy.
Yes. So good news. Keep bringing the people here. Keep bringing them in. Well, let's check in on Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, we're expecting partly sunny skies, breezy, a little hazy still, but at least temperatures will be mild. We'll talk about how long this sticks around and our storm threat for tonight.
And a big boom for the Baraboo economy this weekend. We're live outside of the Al Ringling Theater ahead of the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration that's back in the 608. We're going to talk about it next.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Temperatures are already mild out there. We're waking up to near 70. Most of us are in the mid to upper 60s and will continue to warm pretty quickly. 81 by the lunchtime hour, and then we'll top out in the mid 80s. A couple spots, mainly west and south of Madison, could even reach the upper 80s. It'll also be breezy the morning, early afternoon, but then winds actually briefly come down a little bit later this evening. With the storm threat tonight, that's when winds are going to increase. It'll still be a little hazy. I don't think the smoke is going to affect as much of our temperatures this afternoon compared to what we had yesterday, but we still do have some light to moderate smoke out there. This is the storm threat for later tonight. The entire day is going to be dry. Once we get to about 10 to 11 p.m., that's when our storm threat's going to increase. South of Viroqua, Lone Rock, Madison, Watertown, all these areas in green are at a level 1 out of 5 overnight into early Thursday for where the better storm chances are. Hail and also gusty winds are going to be the threats that we could see. So the day features a lot of sunshine, some clouds. That's mainly going to be more widespread north of Madison and even north of Black River Falls into the afternoon. And then about 10 to 11, some storms, Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, La Crosse, Black River Falls, and also up near Watoma. Those will be a little bit more widespread. They continue to move east. I still think once those move out of Iowa and Minnesota into southern Wisconsin and even reach the city of Madison, we could see those hold their strength. And again, gusty winds and hail are going to be what we could see. Then after about 3 to 4 in the morning, that storm threat is going to diminish, but we're still going to have some fairly heavy rain that's going to be in a band. Wherever the band of rain sets up, that's where we'll see the heavier or higher rainfall amounts. So right now that looks to be Watertown, maybe Madison or just north, Lone Rock, Boscobel, Viroqua, and La Crosse. Those areas could pick up maybe 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, thinking that at the most. Most of us sitting south and north of there, about 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch. That'll take us to mid-afternoon or mid-morning into the early afternoon. We'll still have some lingering showers. They're just going to be much more spotty compared to the widespread rain that we're going to see during the morning hours. 85 today, we're down to 75 tomorrow. We keep that rain chance Friday and early Saturday because that stalled front. And then Sunday for Father's Day, minimal rain chances, but it'll be warmer and less breezy. So Sunday will be better than Saturday.
All right, Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for all the dad figures out there.
Pretty decent day overall.
Looking good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Savannah. Hey, we're looking for some Plan Your Day videos. You want to record one, send it our way. We'd appreciate it. Just share your name, where you live, say a little something to make us laugh. We always love that. And then upload it to the website, channel3000.com, the First Horn Weather app, Facebook Messenger, or you can email tips at channel3000.com.
In the 608, the Big Top Parade will return to the streets of downtown Baraboo this weekend.
That's where Josh Sprider is at this morning. He's given us a preview. Morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, we're in front of the historic Al Ringling Theater this morning. Of course, there's so much rich history in this community, and that's what this weekend is all about, celebrating what makes Baraboo so special. Joining us this morning is George Altoff of the Baraboo Area Chamber of Commerce. George, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh. Thank you for being here.
Yes, good to see you again. This is obviously your Super Bowl of weekends as far as it goes here, and you guys are super excited.
We have another name for it that we won't say. No, it is our Super Bowl weekend. This is going to be a lovely parade. We put hundreds of hours of planning time into this with our Big Top Parade Committee, the city of Baraboo, all their public works, police, Circus World, of course, and it culminates itself in this wonderful 80-unit parade with circus wagons, bands, horse teams. It's a grand event, so thank you for helping us promote it.
Yeah, you bet. And of course, this year you have a great theme. You've got the American flag around you this morning because you guys are going patriotic.
It's going to be a Star-Spangled Celebration. That's the theme of this year's parade. Happens to be Flag Day, so we're expecting to see lots of red, white, and blue.
You know, this has been a year, or obviously an event that has grown over the years. What makes it so special?
Certainly, you mentioned the rich circus history that we have. We have Circus World here, which has the largest collection of restored circus wagons in the world. So we're able to showcase some of those. No other community can offer that on the scale that we can. And the whole circus theme embodies the parade and comes alive when the units march down this street and around our historic courthouse square.
You know, and obviously it's about celebrating the community. Not only do you have locals coming in, but you have people from all over that are coming to Baraboo just for this event.
We get calls from clowns all over the country who want to be in this parade because it has such a great reputation. So we're going to have plenty of clowns. This year we have an added attraction, the Wheelmen, which is a national group that ride the big wheeled antique bikes. They have their national meet here. They're going to be leading off our parade with 50 to 75 of these big wheeled bikers. And the reason they're going first is because if they get rolling, they got to keep moving. They can't get slowed down by units ahead of them. So that's going to be like the pre-parade parade, if you would, 50 to 75 of these cyclists riding their bikes.
Oh, that's so cool. You know, why is it so important for people to continue supporting, you know, your guys' mission here in Baraboo moving forward?
Well, when we bring people here for something like the parade, they see all of the other assets that we have to offer. A lovely downtown. We have Devil's Lake State Park that's just south of here. Of course, Circus World. If you come to Baraboo looking for circus experience, you have to go to Circus World. They have twice-a-day performances throughout the summer, and it's an experience. These are real performers. This is a real circus performance, so you got to check it out.
And this is an opportunity for people to support local, too. These local businesses thrive for these folks to visit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sauk County, which we are in Sauk County, is number 3 in terms of tourism in the state. When you think of all of the attractions, we're second only behind Milwaukee County and Dane County. So we have a lot to offer here in Baraboo. Please come for the parade, stay for the weekend.
Well, hey, George, we appreciate your time this morning. Good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you to Channel 3000.
Yes, you bet. And if you'd like to learn more about the Big Top Parade and Circus Celebration happening this weekend, again, their events starting tomorrow all the way through the weekend, just go to the story up on channel3000.com, guys.
All right, good stuff. Josh Sprider live at Baraboo this morning. Thanks, buddy. Got an idea for In the 608? Reach out to Josh and let him know about it. Hey, it is time to vote for Best of Madison. Voting runs through June 30th, and you can cast one vote in each category. You don't have to live in Madison to vote. The winners are going to be revealed in the October issue of Madison Magazine. Find a full list of all the categories on channel3000.com. Just look for the Best of Madison banner at the top of the website.
Coming up in the morning sprint, a new therapy approved to prevent RSV in kids.
First, if you have a little kiddo turning 3, send us their picture. We'll show it on TV. Time for the morning sprint.
Protests opposing immigration raids are spreading nationwide, including here in Wisconsin. In Los Angeles, protesters took to the streets for a 5th consecutive day as 2,000 additional National Guard troops and 700 Marines arrived. Last night, California Governor Gavin Newsom condemned President Trump's military deployment, calling it a brazen abuse of power. In response, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass imposed an 8 p.m. curfew for downtown LA.
A traffic update in Middleton. The intersection of Park Street and Franklin Avenue will be closed because of construction. It's going to start at 7 a.m. and last until 12 p.m.
A Janesville man has been found guilty of sexually assaulting a child nearly 20 years after the crime happened. He is scheduled to be sentenced on August 28th. Kyle Dean has been found guilty of 3 counts of child sexual assault following his arrest in 2023. Janesville police say the charges relate to an assault that happened in 2007. After testimony yesterday, a judge found Dean guilty of 1 count and not guilty of the other 2.
Protecting infants from RSV just got easier with the new therapy. The FDA approved Inflongia, a single-shot RSV treatment from Merck. The therapy aims to protect infants during their first virus season. RSV is leading cause of infant hospitalization in the U.S. Trials show over 84% reduction in RSV hospitalizations. Parents can anticipate safer seasons ahead for their little ones.
An undocumented migrant framed for threatening to assassinate President Trump can be released from prison on bond. His bond is set at $7,500. The Department of Homeland Security has until July 10th to appeal the decision. The man who wrote the threatening letter has admitted to doing so. He had reportedly robbed and assaulted the man he framed.
A new bill is looking to make your experience at the ballot box easier. The bill would require plain language to be used when explaining a current law, what a proposed state amendment or referendum means, and what it would mean if it's approved. If passed, the bill would require the date of the referendum on the ballot as well.
TikTok has a few days left to find a buyer and stay online in the U.S. President Trump has already extended the deadline twice. He is reportedly considering a third extension. Critics warn that user data remains at risk as long as ByteDance retains ownership of TikTok. But ByteDance insists it does not share data with the Chinese government.
Elon Musk saying he went too far in his social media posts about President Trump. It comes after his net worth took a big hit from the recent fallout. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index says Musk's net worth was close to $500 billion after Trump was elected. As of Sunday, it plunged to $342 billion. Musk is still the world's wealthiest person.
Temperatures will reach the mid-80s, couple spots maybe even top out in the upper 80s later today. Partly sunny skies. I do think we'll still have some haze out there. And then the storm threat late tonight into early tomorrow for basically Madison southward. Could see some strong winds and also some hail. Those would be the threats not till overnight. So the day looks okay. It'll just be stormy tonight into early tomorrow.
All right. Just got to stay weather aware.
Yes.
Savannah, thank you.
CBS Mornings is coming up next. Next newscast is coming up at noon.
And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus.
Have a great day.